just talking about Luka saying, it looks like he's 35 years old, but he's only 25 years old, but he just runs the game at whatever pace he wants to, right?
It's at his pace. It's on his terms. A lot of times, very athletic and quick players, they're trying to do too much. And he's so good at reading the angles, reading the timing. He comes close to the paint. He's playing off of 2 feet. He's using all of those shot fakes, and he gets, 90% of time he makes the right decision. Obviously, I thought that we overall, I don't think we did good enough of protecting the paint tonight. Allowed them way too many offensive rebounds. A couple of plays that we missed a layup, that we missed wide open shots, that led to easy points in transition on the other side. We just could not get enough to get over the hump there. First half, especially that second quarter, I thought that we did a better job of moving the ball and playing together. To be honest with you, we had 34 assists tonight, but didn't feel like 34 assists. I didn't really like our ball movement and energy that we had on offensive end as well.
The Lively's really brought something to that team, and when you guys are facing a really good shot blocker or active shot blocker like that, did you like how you were challenging him at the rim, and would there have been options to consider?
Well, players like that, they always have a huge impact on a game. As game progressed, I thought that we made good adjustments in a sense of playing off 2 feet, using more shot fakes, kicking out the ball more out for shots. We adjusted as the game progressed, but definitely he was a big impact, especially in the first half.
Luka just turned 25. Shea's really young. You guys saw Victor here a little while ago putting up crazy numbers. What do you assess of, and you got one on your team, what do you assess of the young players in this league and the next generation coming along?
All of us, we're gonna get older. We're gonna look at this age, and we're gonna be like, amazing. This era of NBA is just amazing. The talent of the players. Like, just think about, like, if somebody told you 5 years ago that somebody who is 7 feet tall is gonna show up in this league and that he's gonna be able actually to move and play like point guard and do all of that, you'd be like, are you kidding me? Now we have a player like that in the league. Like, somebody asked me before the game about Luka, what he can get better at. Nothing. The talent level in this league is just amazing, and we're really blessed to live in this area and to be part of NBA this time. We just gotta enjoy it and learn those guys and how we can best continue to develop the whole league.
You mentioned Luka's passing, and it seems like so many of those assists were like there was a lot of they're long passes. Like he's making them from across the floor, from one corner of the half court to the other. Is there really a way to defend that when he's he's got every part of the floor kind of is in his sights?
You can make it really hard. You can make it harder. Like, you gotta have very good hand activity. You gotta be looking like for all those windows. One thing that because of his size, he's always making those passes over the defense. So anytime if your hands are down, it's gonna make it very, very easy. So you gotta make it really hard with having high hands. We were able to get a couple of the deflections in that first half, to get a couple of steals. You can just really, really try to make it hard. But the more size you have and the more you can cover the ground there, the better. But I thought that his passes tonight as well, like what he did, he ended up with assists, 16. Yep.
When you look at both halves of the game, you guys came out really strong and even led at the half. But what was the kind of the difference in the second half of the game? Like, where was the breakdown did you see initially?
I thought that we had a couple of breakdowns on defensive end, just not being as aggressive as we need in our coverages, or there were a couple of momentum-changing plays as well. I thought that we created a couple of wide open threes. We missed. They were able to run quickly on the other side. Like doesn't look big at that moment. It just gives gives energy, fuels the other team. And same thing is for us when we getting stops. We're able to rebound. That fuels our offense as well. I thought that was the biggest difference there. And with Kyrie and Luka, they had such a poise, like in important moments to make the right plays.
You mentioned before the game that the break came at a good time for a lot of guys. It looks like Emmanuel's one of those guys. What's the biggest difference you've seen in him since you guys got back from the break?
Just more aggressiveness, more pace. Especially those first 3 games, I thought that he had great pace, pushing the ball in transition, bringing the ball faster, making quicker decisions. That's the biggest thing that I'm noticing. And I told our guys, our challenge is going to be now, we got to bounce back from this. Like, we got to learn from this. We're going to have good film to study and then get better from, and we have another great team coming over here in 48 hours, and we gotta bounce back. We gotta get back with our energy and fight and find that niche that we need.
Scotty's three-point shooting was really hot to start the year, but for the last 2 months or so, it's fallen off quite a bit. What do you attribute that to?
He is still a young player that goes through those ups and downs. What I do know is that he's putting a lot of work in, that he's getting all the reps that he needs, and I'm very confident he's going to bounce back very soon.
A couple of weeks ago, you were saying that you wanted Emmanuel quickly to make upwards of 10 attempts from 3 per night, and he's kind of hitting that now more consistently. So what do you think the next steps are for him to kind of, I guess, continue to progress in the way that you guys want him to?
Playmaking, just finding that fine balance of aggressiveness and looking to score, but also being able to recognize situations when his teammates are open and when he needs to make right plays. Sometimes, a lot of times, he's going to be facing 2 players on the ball, and he needs to be able to find his teammates, find open men.
That's the fastest ankle recovery in the history of ankle recoveries.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was one of those things where just trying to be cautious because it was the same ankle that I recently hurt. Looking back at it, I maybe could have even finished the Pacers game. Like it was more of a tweak. So yeah, but I'm glad we did it that way. We won the game anyway, and that way we're make sure the ankle's good before I got going again.
As a big man, what does Luka's pace and his patience, how tough is it for you to remain patient when he's there and sort of leading everybody into overhelping? Or is it something else?
I mean, no, I don't think it's necessarily for bigs only. It's like for everybody on the court. Like just like his change of pace is difficult because even when you know it's coming and like you stick with his pace, like he's very good at his pace. So like then you're playing into his comfort zone, and like it's tough to touch him because he knows how to sell the fouls, how to get the contact, and so you end up in a position where you're kind of playing his game for most of the game instead of being able to kind of force your game or your game plan onto him. So yeah, I think for a lot of this game, we were kind of struggling with their style of offense, especially in the half court, and we couldn't really get adjusted to it. So yeah, that hurt us.
It's been 2 months now since IQ and RJ came. Can you feel a difference in the chemistry building now that it's kind of, I guess, settled a little bit?
I always say this, like the chemistry and stuff like that is just a constant process. Like there's not really one day where all of a sudden you have it figured out. Like it's just every day you play together, every day, every rep you get a little bit better. So in the beginning, obviously there's like a bigger growth curve, I want to say, because like you're getting the obvious stuff out the way, and then the more you play together, the more reps you get, the more you work on like the little nuances and stuff like that. So yeah, I think at least for me personally, like I like my chemistry and the way we've been playing, like with both RJ and Quickly. So I'm happy about it.
This might be a lot of the same thing as that, but the starting lineup, I think only 9 games together because of various injuries, but you guys have been playing really well. Even tonight you were practically even with them in the 5-man, when you guys were out there as a 5-man unit. Is there something about that group that really works? Is there something that you've noticed that makes things go, or is it just that exactly what you were just talking about?
I mean, I think we've put a lot of effort into building that chemistry very quickly, and I think naturally it's a unit where we have a lot of different ways of being efficient, being able to attack defenses. So obviously kind of Scotty being the head of our snake, but there's nobody really out there that's like, okay, who's super ball dominant or that the defense can like absolutely focus on, because all 5 guys out there are very much involved and can hurt you at any moment. So I think that's been one of our biggest strengths.
Building that chemistry defensively is also really important, and that starting group has been good defensively overall. I guess, how much more difficult is it to build out that chemistry on the defensive end versus offensively when you're constantly sort of working on the game plan?
I mean, to be honest, I think it's about the same thing. It just depends on what you want to focus on in practice, what you kind of drills you want to run, like what where you're trying to get together the quickest. I think for us, the focus has been on both. We've been doing a lot of defense drills. We've been putting a lot of different sets into our offense, like kind of changing our identity a little bit again. So yeah, we've worked on both.
I've also noticed that you just look more comfortable guarding in space. Like if there's a switch and you're stepping out to the guard, it feels like you're much more comfortable now. Is that something like you're actively working on, or just something you've always felt comfortable in?
I mean, it's something I've had to do to a degree throughout my whole career. Like I think the more or the longer you are in the NBA, the more you're able to read players. Like you get to know players more and more. Like at some point you've seen a lot of the tricks, and like you're starting to catch on. So yeah, like I said, I'm just trying to do my best out there when I get switched on the guard, like trying to make him take it as tough a shot as possible.
RJ, you've been here now 2 months. Obviously, it's a little bit different because you're coming home than, Emmanuel Quickley. But how have you felt that things have kind of changed since you got here as opposed to now? Like, do you feel a bit more comfortable? Do you feel like things have kind of progressed a little bit? Do you feel like the chemistry of the team is building?
Definitely more comfortable for sure. Being able to, have practices, especially the break. We got a couple good practices in that helped a lot. We just, we had a lot of new pieces. Even since I got here, the team is completely different again. So just trying to, get used to playing with everybody. And me personally, I know I'm getting comfortable.
How important was that break? I mean, it probably came at a good time for a lot of guys, but for you and IQ specifically, like you were on the road a bunch before you got here, on the road again when you got here. Was that just like a good time to kind of reset and refresh a little bit?
Yeah, it was great. I literally stayed here, just stayed here, got some family time, and just make sure I was right and ready to come back.
Are you feeling the difference over the last week or so?
Absolutely.
Darko mentioned Manu in terms of just the ability That was to what I thought. make plays. What were the conversations like when you kind of brought up the idea of Manu?
Yeah, just trying to really look at just his floor game, his playmaking abilities. Obviously, being a lefty, similar, and it was, I felt good about it because coach said that he really liked Manu growing up, so I guess that was good for me.
He was your favorite player too?
No, Brown was my favorite player.
You get that Manu peripheral.
Yeah, I tried.
Is he somebody that you've been studying or watching for a while, or is this just like a recent?
I watched him a lot when I was a kid. Yeah, and especially obviously in the finals against Miami. Man, it was good to watch him.
The starting 5 numbers have been really good coming into this game. Even tonight, when you guys didn't have your best game, as a group, you were something like -2 over a lot of minutes. What works about that group, or why does that group seem to be working so far?
We're very balanced. I think Quick has so much energy just all the time. running around everywhere, making plays, making shots, setting everybody up. And then, Scotty just, he's Scotty. He's doing everything out there. Jac's really good. He has his floater, he's dunking, he's getting assists, blocks. He's doing a lot of things too. Gary's a crazy sniper. Anytime you pass the ball to Gary, I think it's going in. And then, myself, I just try to do what I can out there to help the team. So I think, that group together, we play very well off of each other.
You guys have a couple bigs that see the floor really well, and Yak and Kelly. What's it like playing with bigs that can pass the ball?
Man, it opens the game up, completely for us. And especially it encourages more cuts and stuff because you're actually going to, get a look.
Après le All-Star Game, vous avez bien joué, 3 matchs, 3 victoires de suite.
Ouais.
Est-ce que le classement est quelque chose que vous avez comme objectif d'être dans le play-in? Est-ce que vous regardez le classement d'autres équipes pour le moment?
Le play-in est définitivement l'objectif. Alors, ouais, on va continuer toujours et tous les jours pour entrer dans le play-in.
Thanks for watching the Toronto Raptors YouTube channel. Check out our latest video and subscribe for more.
Denied, lead pass, here's McDaniels. In a crowd, wide open three.